And in that moment, I had so many things happening in my mind, so much emotional turmoil, to the point where when the question was posed to me, I literally had to just hold down my head, gather myself as the tears welled up in my eyes. This is Nikki Shalom Motivates, so your dose of faith and life-based motivation. If this is your first time here on this channel, welcome. If it's your second, third, or even your fourth time, you are a returning viewer. I do appreciate your presence here. So I want to address the whole issue of asking people how they are without really being interested in what they have to share. Here in Jamaica, it's very common for people to ask you, hey, how you doing? You good? And oftentimes when they ask this question, it's merely a generic form of a greeting or a generic way of saying hello to somebody. It's not necessarily the case where persons who are asking this question really and truly are interested in finding out how the person that they're asking the question is actually doing in truth, in fact, and in reality. So it is a pet peeve of mine. I am here just to implore you, or just to make a suggestion to you, that if you really are not interested in finding out how someone is doing, do not ask them how they are doing. Many a times I've seen where persons would have asked, hey, how are you? And as soon as the person was about to give their response to that question, the person was off and on their merry way. You know, they didn't stick around to hear what the person had to say. And then because of that, a lot of persons, when even I myself ask them, hey, how you do? You alright? Sometimes their automatic response is, yeah man, me good. Or some of them will not answer. And I'll just say, well, hey, I asked you alright? Because sometimes I would think that, they probably did not hear me. And they'll say, oh, yeah man, me alright. Me never know, say, you really wanted to hear. So for me, if I ask you how you are doing, I am truly interested in hearing your response. I'm truly interested to know what has been going on with you, how you are feeling in that moment, how you are feeling perhaps in life in general. Because I love it when persons take an interest in finding out how I am doing, and I reciprocate that by doing the same thing for other people. So if I have a few minutes to spare, sometimes even a few seconds, I'll stand there or sit somewhere and listen to people speak about themselves as to what they have been experiencing, what they have experienced, and how it is that they overcame, if they overcame at all, how it is that they are really and truly doing, because that is something that I enjoy. I'm not going to tell you that I always put time aside to sit and to listen to people, or to stand and to listen to someone that I may meet randomly on the road. But whenever time I do, I never regret it. Sometimes I'll be on the road and random people, hey, how are you? We'll probably start a conversation with another female about hair or about the head wrap or outfit or something random. And I'll stand there and I'll talk to this person for a while. And if someone were to come up to us, they would think that we have known each other for a good while and this person is my friend. But that's just the type of person that I am. That's the personality that I have. I attract different types of people to me where I'm able to connect with them, not just on physical level in terms of sharing the space, but also on a mental and emotional level and a social level as well, because that's something that I enjoy doing. I'm an ambivert, and I enjoy being around a lot of people. That's very cute. My husband just came home. So I enjoy being around a lot of people, but I also enjoy taking time to myself to recoup and relax. I have had experiences where persons asked me, hey, how are you doing? And in that moment, I had so many things happening in my mind, so much emotional turmoil, to the point where when the question was posed to me, I literally had to just hold down my head, gather myself as the tears welled up in my eyes, and just, what do you call it now? Find a way to muster up the courage to just hold back the tears. And if any fall out of my eye, but just use my hand and gently pat it so that the person asking cannot see. Because we never know the burdens that someone is carrying. And when some persons perceive that we have an interest in them, in finding out how they're doing, interest in their general well-being, and then they are ready to open up after getting a question like, hey, how are you? Some of them are genuinely ready to unload, genuinely was praying or hoping for the opportunity for somebody to ask them, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How is your day going? How are things? And then they see it as an opportunity to say, yes, finally, I can tell somebody how I feel. I can tell somebody all of the things that I've been going through. I can finally get some of this weight off my shoulders. Only to be grossly disappointed when the person who poses the question to them walks off on their merry way. That is not a good practice. And if it is that you are someone who practices this without thinking about it too much, not thinking that, oh, it's not that deep. Sometimes it is that deep.
It's done.
Thank you. This time look too granny-ish. Yeah. So sometimes it is that deep. So just a suggestion for all of us to be mindful of the questions that we ask people, just to be mindful of how we interact with people, to be mindful of what we say to people, how we say it, when we say it, and to be mindful also of our own intentions behind why we do certain things. So that's something that we have to bear in mind. So if you don't really want to know how someone is doing, can you step aside, please? I don't want you in the video. Thank you. If you really don't want to know how somebody is doing, don't ask them how they're doing. Just allow them to go along. Say hi, have a good day, or whatever, and just keep it moving. Don't ask them how they're doing if you really are not interested in spending the time, if it's even a few seconds or a few minutes, to find out how they are doing. And granted, some people will not want to tell you their business, and that's understandable, because some people don't know how to keep their mouth and they don't have a sense of confidentiality. So you might tell them something in confidence, whether or not it is that you know them, and them run their mouth and tell people your business. So it's absolutely understandable if somebody don't really want to, let's say, oh, I'm not feeling well, or this is happening or that is happening. But for me, sometimes when persons ask like, hey, how are you? You good? I'll say, yeah, man. Or I'll say, not really, but you know what? By Most High's grace, I will be. Or I'll say, I'm not okay, but I'm working on it. And so that way you're not lying. But if someone asks you how you are doing, and you say, you know, I'm good though, and you know say you're not good, you know say you have something that bother you, or a bunch of things that bother you, you know say you worry about food, or you go eat it, or you go get it for eat, you worry about work, probably not have no money for reach to work, you worry about your job, probably on the verge of being let off or laid off, you worry about your children probably not finding the money that they need to pay for their school fees or to feed them, or you're worrying about housing, the money to pay your rent or your mortgage, or you're worrying about something of the sort. And yet you're telling somebody when they ask you that you are okay. Sometimes these things can be happening, and in the midst of it you have shalom or peace. So that's understandable. So it's not always a lie in the case that, okay, if all these things are happening and you have peace in the midst of the storm and you're truly okay, that is entirely different. But if you know you're not okay and persons are asking you, hey, how you doing? And you say, yeah, man, you know, something all right. And deep down, you know you're dying. Deep down, you know you're suffering. Deep down, you know that you're crying out. Your soul is crying out for some support, for some love, for some kindness. If you're not okay, you don't have to say you're okay. You can say, not really, but I'm working on it. Or by the help of the Most High, I will be. or find some other thing to say. You don't have to lie to say that you're okay. It's okay to not be okay. That's normal. No person that I have ever come across so far that I know personally is always okay all the time, no matter how much them pretend. All right, so if you can relate to this video, leave me a comment down below to say relatable. Talk truth, girl. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and also feel free to share it with your friends and your family, or whomever, your acquaintances, your colleagues from work, or whoever you think can benefit from the information being shared here. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for returning to my channel. Thank you for coming to my channel in the first place. And be sure to check out my other videos on this channel. I'm working on my presentation and delivery, guys. So, let me know how this video is in comparison to the others that you may have seen in the past in terms of my presentation and my delivery. But no, me can be boring, but I'm working on that to be less boring. You understand? So help me. So take care until the next video, most times willing, and you'll see me in the next one.